This is The Adventures of Charlie and Moon by me, Martin Meader, in Perth, Western Australia, where it's really sunny. This is the prologue. A seed is sown. It was an unusually warm night in the Shire of Tumblegum. The long winding dirt track that led from the two-storey ramshackle farmhouse on top of the hill seemed to lie in waiting. The happy babble of motorbike frogs and clackety crickets filled the starlit landscape. Christmas was only 5 days away, and the land felt as content as it ever had. So, when a large bank of clouds innocently meandered towards the moon, no one took any notice. Well, not until the moon disappeared completely. Then a cold chill invaded the darkness, and everything came to a stop, stood absolutely still. Even the frogs and crickets became silent, frozen in mid-croak as it were. There was a sudden air of expectancy, as if something strange was about to happen. Then something strange did happen. Stepping across into the hot Tumblegum evening from an otherworldly blizzard, a peculiar-looking gentleman stood on the farm's porch, dusting the snowflakes off his heavy greatcoat. Steam rose from his woolen scarf. His sturdy black boots stretched up above his knees, and he carried an old wooden walking stick. Taking off his gloves, he reached deep inside his coat pocket and pulled out a small, shiny golden package. Waiting on the veranda in the shadows of the night were Cecil and Sylvia Ramsbottom, the owners of the farm. They had been expecting the old gentleman, though they were more than a little shocked to see remnants of snowflakes on his coat melting in the hot summer night. The man looked at the couple and smiled sadly. Then, as if weighing his decision carefully, he passed the golden parcel to Sylvia, gently touching her arm in reassurance. As one, Cecil and Sylvia spoke. "We will give it to him. You have our word." The traveller replied, "Thank you and good luck. One day he will understand." Turning to leave, the man stopped, his head tilted to one side, as if listening to an unseen voice. Reaching yet deeper into his greatcoat pocket, he pulled out a second, larger parcel wrapped in shiny silver paper. He handed this to Cecil, who received it graciously, their eyes locking for a long moment. "He will need this too," said the man. Nodding his head and understanding, Cecil bowed to the old visitor, whose smile was now hopeful. The old gentleman turned and made his way down through the blooming garden, breathing deeply the flowers that scented the gravel track leading to a very creaky bus shelter. The couple watched him go, gave each other a knowing look, and went back inside the farmhouse. Once the man reached the bus stop, he sat down and drew in another deep breath of the warm air, filling his lungs with the sweet smell of Mother Earth. Slowly expelling the air from his weary frame, he glanced uneasily back to the farmhouse and tugged worriedly on the long white beard that grew out of his face like a snowstorm of cotton wool. Through the quiet of the night came the deep rumble of a large vehicle approaching. The man's ears shot up like a dog. Preceded by the gleam from its very bright headlights, a bus sped around the corner into view. It was the number 9, and right on time. As the bus drew closer, lively South American music could be heard pouring from its windows. Inside the bus, through the quiet of the night came the deep rumble of a large vehicle approaching. The man's ears shot up like a dog. Preceded by the gleam from its very bright headlights, a bus sped around the corner into view. It was the number 9, and right on time. As the bus drew closer, lively South American music could be heard pouring from its windows. Inside the bus, a woman was performing the most rhythmic rumba dance. The moment she saw the man, the woman stopped dancing, and as she did, the bus screeched to a halt in front of him. Now, if you had looked closely at the bus, you would have noticed the strangest thing. There wasn't a driver. Even more peculiar was the dancing ticket collector. Her name was Doreen Tremblingknees, and from head to toe she was dressed in green. Doreen sported an enormous beehive hairdo that towered 4 hands into the air above her head and was surrounded by little honeybees, all trying to snuggle in for a cosy night's rest. Plumping her notorious hairstyle back into shape and away from her elfish ears after her wild dance, Doreen pushed the lever down at the back of the bus and the door hissed open. Gazing fiercely at the bearded gentleman, she finished chewing on a piece of honeycomb and gave a long squeal. "Bizbuzz! There you are!" she called excitedly. "Is it done?" Bizbuzz twitched his ears but said nothing for the moment. Then he slowly looked at her, his enormous watery blue eyes betraying his feelings as he spoke. "What will be, Doreen," he said, rolling his R's in a very gentle way. "It is my business to do my best, and that is all one can do in this buzzed-up situation. It is our only chance, and now rests with the boy." Bizbuzz shrugged his shoulders and made his way to a seat inside the bus. "The boy! Is he strong enough? Isn't he too young?" cried Doreen tremblingly as she followed him down the bus. "He bore witness, Doreen, he bore witness, and it is the King's will," said Bizbuzz, making himself comfortable in one of the seats. "What's been bizzed cannot be buzzed. There's nothing more we can do but hope and trust." Doreen rang the bell and started swaying her body slowly up and down the aisle. This was a signal for the bus, still without any sign of a driver, to crawl away into the darkness. Through the windows, Doreen could be seen moving her arms like the wind as she danced. And as she did, she sang a haunting medieval lament that wafted through the air. "The time has come for us to depart. I dance this bus with my broken heart, and put my trust in a spirit unknown. The gift has been given, a seed has been sown." For a while, it sounded as if the whole valley was crying. The song was so sad. But then the bus rounded the corner and disappeared out of sight, silence falling upon the landscape once again. Well, almost. A small feathery creature had been hiding in some bushes near the road, watching the proceedings. Panting and puffing, it dragged itself out from behind its cover. Checking backwards and forwards to make sure that no one was following, it stumbled along the pathway, accompanied by an irritating clunking noise coming from a large piece of ugly, rusted chain that was attached to its bloodied right claw. Engraved on one link of the chain were the initials SW, with the body of a rattlesnake wound around them. The animal stopped for a moment, touched a claw against one of its wings, and then continued towards its goal, the ramshackle farmhouse.